Welcome to the Time to Fly podcast. It's time to give your business wings and take flight to achieve more impact, influence, and income with unique perspectives, tools, and tips from successful entrepreneurs and business professionals to help your business fly. Here to educate, encourage, and entertain you with their own unique perspectives and experience, plus sharing anecdotes of growing up as cowgirls. Here's your host, Jill Fleming.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Time to Fly, Give Your Business Wings. I'm your host, Jill Fleming, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I recently attended the SOAR Women's Business Conference in Temecula, California, and I thought it would be great to interview some of the attendees, the keynote speakers, and gain some wisdom and some nuggets of information from them that we could pass on to you. I want to apologize in advance. There is a little bit of audio quality issues due to being at a conference and lots of noise going on, but I do believe the nuggets of wisdom that they passed on are well worth it. My first interview was with Lauryn Hunter, who was a keynote speaker at the event and is a marriage and family therapist. Good afternoon. This is your host, Jill Fleming, and I am here at the SOAR Women's Business Conference, and I am here with Lauryn Hunter. Lauryn, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lauryn Hunter. I'm a marriage and family therapist and a registered art therapist. I specialize in child development and using art therapy to help heal children and adults with trauma.
And how could they find you, Lauryn, if they want some help with that? And where are you located?
I'm located in Los Angeles, and you can reach me at huntertherapeutic.com and huntertherapeutic.care as well.
Well, I have two questions for you. First question, what is the productivity tool or app that has created the most ease for you in your business?
I think for me, I do a lot of imagery is important in collaging with my clients and do a lot of vision board workshops and really manifesting what you want. And a lot of times we can't find the images that we desire in magazines. So the app that I would suggest is Free Prints. And, every month it's an app you can get onto your phone. And every month you get 82 free images that they'll print out. So you go into your photos, you click 1, 2, 3, 4, and you pick which ones you want. And then within a week it comes to you, and you might have to pay $3 for shipping. But it otherwise, I just every month get multiple images, and they're great to use.
Oh, great. Okay, my second question. In the spirit of giving, what is the one nugget of wisdom you've gained that would contribute to emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, and business professionals that could help give their business or their career wings?
I think you have to show up for yourself, and you have to show up even when you don't want to. In life and every day, you have the opportunity to make choices. And depending on what choices and who you see and who you spend your time with will really take you to the next level or launch you to the next stage. And there might be an event that you didn't necessarily want to go to, but when you go there, you might meet someone that you would have never known would take you to the next stage in your life. So, show up so you know what can happen, and you never know what might happen.
It's funny you say that, because this event is the exact thing for me. I saw the event and I had the awareness to go to the event, but I was in resistance to it. I'm like, I don't want to go. But I've learned that if I show up to those things that I have the awareness to go to, usually really great things happen. So thank you so much, Lauryn, and I really appreciate you taking the time to answer my questions.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. My next interview is with one of the keynote speakers, Joey Garrity. I'm here with one of our keynote speakers, Joey Garrity. And Joey, I'd love to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So my name is Joey Garrity, and I'm brand director, creative producer, author, and international speaker. And you can find me at 113branding.com. You can also find me all over social media.
Okay, and tell them about your group.
Sure. So I have a group on Facebook. It's called Branding for Professional Businesswomen. And I literally created it for entrepreneurs and men as well, where it just serves as one big spotlight. So I encourage everyone to post their products, their services, who they are, their why, their mission, spotlight others, etc. inside of it. I don't have a lot of rules. I don't believe in there being a lot of rules. I mean, there's so many Facebook groups with so many rules. Ooh, can't keep up. But instead, I feel like not enough women have been encouraged to spotlight themselves into what I call brag.
And what's really cool is Joey is the reason I'm here at this conference. Mm-hmm. Nicole, my co-host, is in Joey's group. and just recently added me to the group as well. And she sent it to me this week and said, hey, isn't this close to you? And I was like, yeah, it is close. And it felt really light to go. And I was like, I haven't been doing a lot of networking lately, and I've been meaning to start networking again. And I was like, it's an hour away. And I was coming up with all those excuses. But I've talked about things being light and being heavy, and it was super light to come. So thank you so much for sharing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here. So Joy, I got a couple questions for you to share. What is the productivity tool or app that creates the most ease in your business?
Well, Zoom is a game changer, right? Because I use Zoom daily, whether it's talking to clients or to groups, and you can get up to 100 people. And I know that it's free, but I pay for the monthly. That way you can also record, you can do webinars. It's really pretty incredible. So I'd say that one.
Okay. Is there a second one?
I would also say that I'm a huge fan of both Canva and GetResponse right now. So GetResponse is an autoresponder out there that is basically does backflips. It's probably one of the best autoresponders. It's a whole other level above MailChimp, for instance.
Oh, okay, great. Mm-hmm. And my second question is, in the spirit of giving, what is the one nugget of wisdom you've gained that would contribute to emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, and business professionals that would help to give them wings?
Mm-hmm. I would say that the piece of advice that I was given quite young was be generous. Just be a warm person. Don't walk into situations thinking, what am I going to walk out with? Walk into situations and be a we. I behavior doesn't encourage, uplift, or empower, but we behavior. And the other thing too about that piece of advice that I loved is that my mentor that gave me that piece of advice was like, you don't know when something's going to come back around again. It could be tomorrow, it could be in 5 years, it could be in 10 years. Don't get caught up in that. Just be a we and show up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was awesome hearing all of your wonderful wisdom, and go check out her site and go check out her Facebook group. There's a lot of we going on in there, and if you ever get a chance to listen to her keynote, it was amazing. Thanks so much. Next, you're going to hear from the fabulous Kathleen Ronald of Speaktacular. So I am here at the SOAR Women's Business Conference, and I'm standing here with Kathleen Ronald with Speaktacular. And Kathleen, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I was born, no. In my business life, I've been a professional speaker. I do keynotes and trainings for associations and corporations. And then I've been a business growth expert for 25 years. So I work with business owners to help them double, triple, quad their income while trying to cut their hours significantly by getting rid of their clutter, right? Things that are just, right? So it's just very systematic. It's basically in business, if they have any issues or challenges, that's clutter. So it's slowing them down to look at what that is and creating sustainable solutions over time that makes their life ease and grace, right? And freedom and all those good things. So that's what I do.
And Kathleen was one of our breakout speakers today, and I was actually in her breakout and got a lot of really great nuggets. And one of my biggest takeaways is just in case.
Oh, yeah.
I have to keep that just in case.
Yeah.
And
I call it the just in case itis, because
right?
It really is a dis-ease.
Yes.
When you get to the core of when you start looking at it, right? Yeah.
Just in case I could use that one day. Right? One of my questions I didn't get to ask you in the breakout is, what do you do with all the old training manuals and books? I've been to so many trainings and so many workshops, and I have all those manuals cluttering up a shelf.
This
that
is what
I don't
do.
Want to throw away because there's that wisdom in there.
Yes, okay. So what I get really clear with people is on the belief that everything is available to you as you need it. Okay? So rather than just in case, there's only 1% to 3% of the people that will ever buy those things and ever look at them. People know that. It's an emotional spend. You're in it. Your intention is to do good. And then if you don't look at it, then you feel like crap forever because you spent all that money. You never actually looked at it. You think one day I will, but one day never comes. So it's chipping away as you create a story about yourself for being lame, lazy, procrastinator, whatever that is. In reality, only 1% to 3% are ever going to take that book off the shelf and implement. And they know that, and they get you on the emotional sale. So I tell my clients, go to the seminars, but don't buy anything. That's the rule. So for you, what I would look at is whatever you need, you're a manifester, will come to you. And with Google now, why does anyone have a cookbook? You can Google your recipe. There's an app to put in the stuff in your refrigerator and they'll spit out a recipe for you.
There is?
Yes.
Wow.
You just put the ingredients in your fridge and yeah, can you believe that? So it's like, if you have a question or if you need the wisdom, you Google the question and get the wisdom when it's current and relevant to the need. So all of that, just bless it, release it, and going forward, do not buy it again.
Well, it's the workbooks that come with the courses, right? You take all those great notes.
Yes,
but
the thing of it is, you can only integrate one tiny little tip.
Mm-hmm.
We're humans, we go slowly over time to change. Today it's kind of like, gosh, what's that one little tip? And then you kind of take that and go with it. But when you get 100 tips, 1,000 tips in a workbook, my Lord, child, we got enough going on in life. Let the life just train you as you need it. Let you transform as you need it. And let the teacher show up for you easily and effortlessly and organically. And yeah, just let it go. Really.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it
go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I sing that song all the time. Love the song. Let it go. Let it go.
So I have a question. So what is
Yeah.
the productivity tool or app that creates the most ease for you and your business?
It's so funny. I'm not an app person. Well, I am. I guess Facebook and all that. And so I'm an old school girl. I'm visual. So the product has to meet the need. And because I'm visual and because I'm a speaker, I book out 6 months to a year. So I have always had a paper calendar. I love my paper calendar. I get to write big old notes on it. I get to put stickers all over it, and remembrances. So that tool works for me. And I have my clients at the end of the week. Most people don't have a date with their calendar. So I said, make a date with your calendar. Go to your favorite whatever. Sit in your favorite whatever. Go out into the garden and spend 1 hour on like a Friday or a Saturday morning and project into the week and just go into the week and see what you need to do, confirmed. So it's kind of like that. One of my friends, she had 3 companies. She would go, and they had 2 kids, a husband. She would leave at 5 a.m. and get home at 8:30, but she'd go work out and she'd date with a calendar every day because she was running 3 companies.
Wow.
So in order to stay organized and clear and concise and things not throwing out. So if you have a date with your calendar every single week, whether it's an app or something else for your planning, it makes you far more productive rather than getting into the day and fighting fires all day. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So,
and I know for me too, like when I'm in planning mode, I need to see it. I need to have the paper calendar.
Yes.
I need to have something to plan out.
Yes.
I keep track of my schedule on my electronic calendar.
You do.
But when I'm in planning mode, I do it on the paper and then I transfer it into the computer, like the electronic calendar. So I'm that visual person as well. So in the spirit of giving, what is the one nugget of wisdom you've gained that would contribute to emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, and business professionals that could help give their business or career wings?
Truly using Byron Katie's work, because I trained with Tony Robbins for 5 years. I call myself a mind chiropractor, but the brain is a busy place and it builds monsters and creates stories and illusions and things of this nature. And so I had a lot of not so healthy stories going on in my head, about different things. And I started breaking them down. And Byron Katie's work is the work because there's 4 questions. So when a belief comes up, you can ask, is that true? How do you know it's true? Who would you be without that thought? And what's the turnaround? So it's self-realization. It's nothing is about anyone else. It's always about us. So when that belief comes up, oh, or they don't like me, or she didn't call, and you make up a story, is that true? How do you know it's true? Now, the ego will always come up with a story. Are you angry? Yes, I am angry. And this is why. So you really have to do the work. Is that true? How do you know it's true? Who would you be without that thought? And what's the turnaround? It's really insightful and beautiful and deep work, but it really creates a very peaceful place. And there's so much freedom when you arrive at a place and you're not judging or projecting or making up stories. You're just being. It's just I've been doing the work for about 4 or 5 years. And the first 2 years, I fought with her. I'm like, it's not true. I don't believe that to be true. So it's interesting.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kathleen. And then if someone wanted to get in touch with you or reach out to you, how would they find you?
Well, my name is Kathleen Ronald, Ronald. My company is Speaktacular, SPEAKTACULAR.com. And if they're interested in clutternomics, they can find that there. If they need a speaker, they can find that there. If they just want to say, hey, and if you're single, I'm looking to get married soon, 310. No. I'm manifesting my future husband.
Woohoo! Aren't we all?
You too.
Me too.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome.
So.
A different me too.
Right.
Yeah, right?
A different one.
A very positive me too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much
It
for
was
taking
so
the time.
great
It
to
was so great to meet
you
you today.
And I'm so glad you came.
Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the interviews. And now a quick break for our sponsor.
This episode is sponsored by the book Freedom to Fly, the visionary leader's guide to unlocking your unique freedom code to confidently create more impact, influence, and income. Get your copy of this best-selling book on Amazon.com.
Next up, we're going to hear from Mobile Mary. Hi, I'm here at the Women's Business Conference, and we're sitting here on the rooftop with a beautiful sunset in the background, and I am here with Mobile Mary. Mary, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, I help successful business owners share their brilliance by showing up, being brave, and making an impact using tools that they can actually carry on their phone and have it literally in the palm of their hand.
Wow. So what does that look like?
Well, we have Facebook challenges about how to basically get more exposure and more engagement with your audience, really finding your people and speaking to them. I sometimes call it fishing off the pier where your clients swim. But basically, we want to make sure that you show up in a way that makes the people that need your services fall in love with you. We want to give them what we call mobile love, that they are basically so enamored by what you do because they know, like, and trust you, that they will come back to you when they're ready, because we can't tell people when to buy. But we want to be there. When people know, like, and trust somebody, you're going to find them because you want their help to make you the expert in your industry.
Wow. And so if somebody wanted to find you or participate in your challenge, how would they do that?
Oh, go to my Mobile Mary page. Actually, it's facebook.com/The Mobile Mary. And actually, we're kicking it off tomorrow. I don't know if this podcast will be out, but I'll be doing multiple ones. But basically, it's just little 5-minute things you can do every day to really boost your engagement and boost your exposure with your best person. Not as a salesy weirdo, but finding your people who love you because they fall in love with the fact that it's your unique perspective that they're drawn to. Because you might sell the same thing as a lot of other people, but nobody else has your unique way of presenting it, delivering it, servicing it. And so people who love you will find you and they'll buy from you because you're their people.
It's funny you say that. I was just at a recent event. I don't remember who said it, but there are no unique messages. There are unique messengers.
Nice.
Right? Isn't that great?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So a couple questions for you.
Yes.
What is the productivity tool or app that's created the most ease for you and your business?
Well, we actually have our own tool now that I think about it. Brilliant Mobile Messaging is the tool that I use and I sell that allows you to instantly capture a database and be able to connect with them when they want it. So Brilliant Mobile Messaging is the product. And if you text the word Mary, M-A-R-Y, to the number 71441, you'll get an invitation to learn from one of my free Facebook challenges, as I mentioned before. So again, text the word Mary, M-A-R-Y, to the number 71441. And Brilliant Mobile will actually send you back a message that will help you engage and increase your engagement with your customers.
Well, and it seems like you're pretty tuned in to the mobile space. So are there any other apps that you recommend?
Oh my goodness, yes. Because I teach people how to use Facebook Live to really show up to their audience, some people are afraid to get on camera because they might be having a bad hair day that day, right? So there's lots of fun tools that you can use. And one app I love is called Ripple, R-I-P-L. And they actually now have a desktop version. So if you don't want to do it on your phone, you don't have to. But they do have an app for the phone, of course. But Ripple allows you to make cool little videos that allows you to put together photos or little moving images that allow you just to get your message out quickly, and it's free. So again, go to Ripple, RIPL.com, or obviously to the App Store. And again, you can get your message out there super easy, and it's video, so Facebook loves it.
Wow, I've never heard of that one. Okay, so my next question is, what is that one nugget of wisdom you've gained that would contribute to emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, and business professionals that could help give their business or their career wings?
Help others first. When people ask for help, sometimes it's not the solution that you provide that they need. And that's okay. If you can connect them with someone else, when it's time for them to need your service, they're going to think of you in a loving way because you took the time to help them find a different solution that might, again, not be yours. But because you connected them, they think of you on a higher level. So again, if you think of others first, there's an old adage, and I can't remember the exact quote, but when you give of yourself, you get more in return. The more you put into something, the more you get out of it, right? So when somebody needs something, find a solution for them, and it doesn't matter if it's yours. But if you help them find the solution they need, when it comes time to need what you have, they'll think of you first.
And I'd also say, too, that sometimes you're just giving out, and the universe brings it back in another way, too.
Amen.
Sometimes it doesn't come back the way you think it will. Oftentimes it never shows up the way you think it will.
Right.
But put it out into the universe and allow it to bring it back to you.
That's right.
And it may not show up the way you think it will.
Yeah, and as Robbie would say, ask for what you need because you never know who's going to deliver it back to you. Mm-hmm. So, and then just living in gratitude that, that it will show up. It will.
One of my favorite things on the ask thing is if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Right.
So you're starting at zero anyway. You might as well ask because it's only an upside.
Right. The worst thing is someone could say no, and that doesn't hurt.
Well, and it's not no. Like you're already at a no. When you start out, you're already at a no.
Right.
And I think there was I never remember where I pick up all these nuggets, right?
Right.
I think of it as like coffee or tea. And somebody asks you hey, would you like coffee or tea? And they say no.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything about you. They just don't want coffee or tea.
Right.
Or maybe they don't have a solution for you or they don't know.
Right.
And so just keep asking.
Right. That's right. That's awesome. You're very wise.
Aw, thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mobile Mary.
You're welcome.
And it was such a pleasure to meet you here at the Women's Business Conference.
It was. It was so nice meeting you, too. I'm so glad we'll be connected.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And last, but certainly not least, is the founder and creator of the SOAR Business Conference, Robbie Motter. I'm so excited. I am here at the SOAR Women's Business Conference. And I am here with the founder and creator of the conference, as well as the founder of the Global Society of Female Entrepreneurs. So excited to speak with you. And so go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Robbie Motter, and my passion is helping women step out of their box and soar to greater heights than they even imagined they could do.
So tell us a little bit about your organization, about your conference. You say this is your 14th year.
I'm also the global coordinator for NAFE, the National Association of Female Executives. I've been with NAFE 27 years. And 2 years ago, I formed the nonprofit Global Society of Female Entrepreneurs because nowadays, whenever you're doing an event and you want to get grant money, you must be a nonprofit. And so prior to forming the Global Society, every conference I've done for 18 years has been a NAFE conference, and they've always been successful. So this year was the first time we've done a Global Society one, and everybody said it was wonderful.
It was phenomenal. It was my first time.
Well, I think what's really great is the women who gravitate to us are women with hearts. They're not about what's in it for me, because they know that if they care about others, it's going to come back to them. In fact, when women show up at my NAFI networks, we have 15 in California, I always say to them, if you're just coming for leads, let me direct you to the local lead group. But if you're coming to form relationships where you become friends and you help each other, then you're at the right place.
I'm so happy to hear that. I've been in California for a while now, and I've toured so many networking groups. And it gets just so frustrating that it's all in like, what's in it for them? And when somebody comes up to talk to you, they're like, ooh, can I pitch you? Can I pitch you? Can I pitch you? And it just gets really exhausting. And I've loved being at your event today because everyone was just really inquisitive and they wanted to know about me and how are you? And it was just so inspiring. The speakers were amazing. And so I just really appreciate that your vision has really been achieved and that you really attract those kind of women.
I'll tell you the reason I do this. I was in corporate America for many years, and I was very fortunate. In my last job, I had 800 people reporting to me. I remember one job when I was coming up the ladder. I asked a woman for help, and she refused to help me. And I thought, you know what? Everything I learned the rest of my career, I will share with women. Because there is no competition. You are the competition. And you may be in a profession, somebody else is in this, but people buy from people they like. So when you form those relationships and those friendships, they're going to be there for you. And you can learn from people doing what you do. You learn what mistakes they've made, and you don't make the same ones. You may make others. And I've actually found that they love sharing.
Absolutely. I came from corporate America as well. I worked for Berkshire Hathaway for almost 10 years. And I found that too. It's like the women were so cutthroat and they were trying to pull you down and stab you in the back. And I actually found it was interesting. The men were more supportive of me than other women. And I hated being in that environment. And so I love being in an environment of give. If we're both giving, then we're both receiving, and it's a great environment for contribution.
Well, one of the things I tell all my members is we've all gotten pretty much our 30-second commercial together. But here's something. I don't care where you go, what network you belong to. When you finish that 30-second, you say, and how you can help me is, and stand back. Because remember, each of us know at least 200 people. I know 10,000. But when you put it out there, and let me just tell you, it was very hard for me to ask. And then one day, somebody said to me, Robbie, you're always opening doors. Don't you feel great when you're able to help women? I said, I love it. It's so, well, then why don't you let us feel great to help you? And that was the incident. I stood up and said, okay, I want a little Maltese, 2 years old, white female, spaded. 2 days later, one of my members called me up and she said, I have that dog. And she's a female. I'm going through a divorce and she's your dog. 8 years later, I still have her.
Isn't that awesome? It's the power of the ask, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, so much. So one of my questions was nuggets of wisdom. You've already shared so many. Are there any nuggets of wisdom that you would have for emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, and business professionals to really help give them wins?
Well, I think a lot of times we get up and we're always too busy because we're doing all this stuff. When you have an opportunity to do something like our speaker said today, say yes. Because to me, showing up is like a treasure mount. You never know what treasure you're going to find. And I can tell you that every place I show up, I always find a treasure. It may not be for me, but it's a treasure where I can open the door for others. So stop being tired. Stop saying you cannot drive out of your town. And go do something. It's like our speaker today, who's 86, who says, get up, get out, and get a life.
The pink lady, she was amazing.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's so funny. I even got up and shared my story today, is that I was notified about your event. It was about an hour away from me, and I didn't know anyone, and I had all kinds of excuses, but I felt like I was supposed to be here. And I've met such amazing women today. It's phenomenal. And it was really cool, too, I don't know what nuggets I'll receive, but there were two women that I was able to connect them with something that could really change their life. And that's what I love. I love the connection as well, is really being able to create those connections to help other people grow and give themselves wings and really just get out there and have an amazing life.
I think one other thing, another nugget, is there isn't anybody you cannot meet. So if somebody you want to meet, put it out to everybody you know. I need to meet this person. Years and years ago, many of you may not remember this because you're younger. I'm going to be 83. But years ago, there was a book called The Popcorn Report. And Faith Popcorn was a New York person into trends. And she's the one that told Domino's to start delivering. And you know what's happened. Everybody's delivering. But in her book, she said, I was living in Northern California then. She was in New York. I never met her in my life. And in her book, she said, you must always find a mentor that is above where you are. So I picked up the phone and called her. And I said, I would love you to be my mentor. And she said, I would be honored. So for 1 year, every month, she called me up and mentored me. And so I realized that there is no one you cannot meet. So if you want, look out there. And many times you need more than one mentor. You'll get one and it helps you through that path. But then there's some other area you need another. So just ask.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ask is so powerful.
Yes, the power of the ask. And so if people wanted to, say, come to your event next year or be involved in your other groups, how would they find those?
Well, what they need to do is go to wrnafi.com because we post a lot of stuff there. Or just call me up, 951-255-9200 or armater@aol.com. I take calls all the time. Sometimes I talk to women at 2 a.m. because I feel when the call comes in, they need to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I'm their cheerleader. I love just being able to connect them to whoever they need to meet. The first thing is you got to really know what it is you want to do. So sit down and find out. Be yourself. Stop being what other people want you to be. What is your passion? Because if you don't do your passion, you may get partially successful, but you'll never be fully successful.
That's actually what I help people do, right? Is get that clarity. So get back to center. What's in alignment for you? Get clarity, a plan, and put that into action. Because so often we're told what we should be. We have a family member or family members that say, oh, you should be a doctor or a lawyer. And you're just miserable doing it. I went and worked corporate America for almost 10 years because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, but I was miserable. And so I've been on my own journey of learning that and being out on my own. And I get to travel now and meet amazing people and come to awesome conferences and meet even more amazing women. So I'm really, really happy that I made that choice.
Well, I realized when I quit my big job, and I was a single mom with 3 kids. And I remember one day my kids said to me, because they were so used to me having a corporate job, I said, Mom, why don't you go get a real job? But I remembered in corporate America, I was always promoting stuff and making it happen. And I did not let them stop me. I thought, I'm not giving up. And it ended up that I did very well. I put one of my daughters through Harvard with no student loans.
Wow.
As a single mom. And if you've ever gone to Harvard, you know how much it costs. But sometimes we let those things say, oh, maybe they're right. They're not right.
No.
You know who you can be. So Absolutely. Be who you are.
Absolutely.
Don't let anybody step on your parade.
Well, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Your event was amazing, and thank you so much for taking the time to do a quick interview with me.
Well, I'm so happy you stepped out of your comfort zone and said, it's an hour away, but I'm going to show up.
I showed up, right? And I met some really amazing women today, including yourself. Thank you so much.
A big thank you to this episode's sponsor, Freedom to Fly, the visionary leader's guide to unlocking your unique freedom code to confidently create more impact, influence, and income. Get your copy of this best-selling book on Amazon.com.
Join our flock. Stay informed of all things Time to Fly by subscribing to our newsletter at timetoflypodcast.com. And be sure to tune in to our next show.